installing Windows 98 now, but I've just run into a couple of bugs because I haven't got a hard disk set up yet with this emulator, and it's sort of it keeps defaulting to. Oh right, okay, that's alright. I thought it was like stealth video. I'm just making sure that I've got everything set up. Hard drive. Right, I've got this hard drive now. That's 1 and 0, and then the other one should be 0 and 1. 0 and 1, right? I changed it to 48 speed, and that's normal. That's okay. Not that I'm using that yet because I'll need to configure it. Right, so back to this hard disk. If you can hear that, it's motorbikes. I live in the Philippines, and the bikes are quite a normal thing over here. This is a lot of meshing around this. Let's just see. Sometimes the emulation's not perfect. So let's go to 0, 0. And I'll go to IDE. I'll go to 5400. And let's try again. Let's just try now. Do we get 0 and 1? 1 and 0, 1 and 1. One and 0, and the other one is 1 and 1. Let's just try it. That's a tappy drive, and that one's IDE. Now let's just go into the BIOS again. You know what? That's irritating. That I don't know what I'm doing wrong. What am I doing wrong? Anyone got any suggestions? I'll get it. I'll get there in the end. 1 0. Is that cable select? That's a yeah. So if I go, I'm assuming I'm selecting that one as the slave, and then I'm selecting the other one as the master. That's the master, which used to be the old way of setting up PCs. Now then, why is it not? Right. Okay. Right, okay, escape. No, if I continue. Boot options. Right, okay, so we need to go to the first one being a floppy. Why see it right? Well, yeah, okay. Second hard drive. No, one first. It's a bit of a weird BIOS, this actually. Power up. What a weird operating system. Fourth. Other drives. Ah, right, okay. Well, fair enough. Right, so I'm assuming that's right. I'll just take that off. Take that up. Take that off. and we need the first one being a floppy drive and the next one being CD-ROM. Yeah, that's about right actually. So we go to save and discard, saving changes. Yeah, we should be good to go now. All is to install there you go. Is it running? Right, we've got the memory set up, but we're not getting a boot now. Are we getting a boot? I don't know. It doesn't. This is one of the things I hated about these old BIOSes. They didn't tell you anything. No performance. No, nothing saying like scanning the disk or something. That company was crap anyway. Cowan Gate. Let's change the hardware. Super Socket 7, Socket 8. What's in Socket 8? I open BIOS star 200 megahertz. That used to run it, didn't it? 333. Found in 12. Okay. Leave the graphics card as it is. Leave the mouse as it is. Leave the sound card. We'll just install a Sound Blaster 2.0, an old one. Don't need a network card. Storage controllers, though, no. We'll just leave that as it is. We'll leave that as it is. In fact, it used to be 40 speed, didn't it? About the speed. Right, okay, so turbo timings. Right, let's go for it. Don't think I need anything else. Bus controller. What's in the bus controller? No, nothing. Right, let's go for it. This is another BIOS. It's another one, isn't it? Hokey smokey, let's see if it see, some of these BIOSes are really slow. Right. Right. Okay, so that's found that. Oh, what's he found there? Alright. So it's found, it's not found that one. What's this all about? That 4 gig file what I was trying to create I don't think worked. I think we've already got. Have we got a drive formatted? I think we have actually. Have I still got? Ah, I've got junk on it. Look. Right, what I can do. There you go. 622. That what I've just basically done is just wipe the drive. Quick formatted, so it's going to continue, and it's actually going to create a new, completely new operating system. And obviously it's going to take a while. But I'm going to do this in real time, so you can. This video is going to feel like a long one. See what we had to put up with as we were building these machines and setting up these machines. And anyone who was like in my area would understand completely what we were all about, because it's can be frustrating, to be honest. Oh, piss off. Excuse me for swearing. What I'm going to do, actually, because it'll take a lifetime to install Windows 98. What we're going to do is we're going to inject the files directly in from Windows into it. Otherwise, we'll be here forever. Or should I just? Yeah, I think I'll just. Yeah, but I need to do a bit of hacking anyway, as they say, because I need to drop the CD-ROM drivers directly onto this drive, plus the mouse. Because they're not boot disks. Oh, you can. Ah, they're not disk images. They're not image files. So I'd have to inject them because I can't remember the tool. There is a tool I used to use where you could mount an image file, but anyway. What disk is this? Is this 2 or what? 3? No, it's 2 in it. Takes a lifetime. So the next stage after this is to actually, well, here we go, is to install a version of the mouse driver. Not like a graphics user interface, is it? Because the old graphics user interface was already built in. You'd buy a laptop or you'd buy a computer, and Windows comes with all the mouse drivers and everything pre-installed, providing they were vendor written anyway. It's quite warm today. 30.5. I live in the Philippines and it's quite warm. Yeah, go up that. 12:30 in the afternoon. Ah, yes. Excuse me for yawning. Just to think, anyone who is in what I'm doing now, who has sat through all this, you can certainly tell how much frustrating it can be if they, So the BIOS will now boot, but it'll just boot into an operating system. There's no drivers, no nothing. It'll just be basically DOS. Like they used to love their sound effects, didn't they? Right, there you go. Takes an age, doesn't it? Right, so in other words, what you should have is that. That's it, basically. It's formatted the rest of the drive. It's nice and clean. Obviously, there's no CD-ROM drive. CD-ROM files. Or a CD-ROM driver. And there's no mouse. There's no mouse, look. Bing. No mouse. Right, so that's the next stage. So what we're going to do is we're going to insert the mouse drivers. So what we need to do first is to mount this drive. And I'm hoping it should open, which it does. There's the files. Now what we need to do is, even though you're seeing it from my point of view, we need to go to, good God, how many drives I've got. Alright. Right, we need to go to the Mitsumi drivers. We need to go to CD-ROM drivers first. Where did I put the CD-ROM drivers? Are they there? DOS drivers for what? Oh right, the universal ones. Where's the CD-ROM drive? Didn't I have it? Where's the mouse drivers? Right, there's the mouse drivers. Perfect. Right. Right, so we just need to copy that mouse driver. So we go. So need to put that in there. Just wait for it to inject into the actual. There we go. And then we will install. I think it's just that driver. Is that the one with? There was that one, but I think Mitsumi drivers. We had a set of drivers which had a setup file on them, because I don't want to. I don't have to mess around then. Like that one. Bear with me, guys. Oh. What are you doing? Why has it done that? Mitsumi. Oh, is it 400? Right, okay. So we need to go over here and we just go to CD temp. Come on. I'm an impatient person. Right, and we need to go 400, and we need to take them files, and we need to just drop them in there. We don't need the OS2 one, OS2, yeah. Right, so we're good to go here. What I'm going to do now is we're going to put on. I think we'll just set it up. Right, okay, we're good to go. So I think we are ready to start the emulator. So right, let's go for it. We need to. You're just going to look at my machine for a second. And we just need to eject that image, because two systems can't share the same image. And we'll just go over there like that, and we should be good to go. It's a slow process, isn't it? You know, when you're so used to having high-speed machines, you know, with all these cores, what these machines have got, and then you go back to a fossil like this. I didn't even realize, is it 100 mega? Is that all it is? I'm sure it was faster than that. Right, okay, so as you can see, I've got a CD temp, I've got a mouse. So what we need to do, we need to edit, auto, whoops. Is it mouse? It is mouse com. Right, okay, so edit, auto execute, whoops, execute.bat. Load high, mouse.com. That should be it. Oh, it might not allow it because I've not got any of the features loaded. And what we'll also do is go CD temp, which is we're going to set up also the installation of the CD-ROM driver. Set up D. Right, so we go English, read file, begin installation, MTM, that'll do. Now then, when I reboot the machine, we should have a mouse and a CD-ROM drive. Oh, what fun it was back then. It usually applies to D drive. Hey, bagum. I need to change that. Why is that speed at 400 megahertz? It shouldn't be anywhere. I got 512 megabytes and a 100 megahertz processor. There you go, there's the CD-ROM drive installing. And she's taking its time. It's applying to a drive letter using the MSDOS function. And it's taking its time. I need to go in the BIOS and there's a mouse. So it loaded, but I don't know whether it loaded high. What are we in? 63 megabytes total, 66. 63 meg. Yeah, that's alright. Used to calculate out 531 meg. I could use 531 meg. Alright, okay. So I can delete tree now. CD temp. Right, reserve space. There should be a Windows version on here. Yeah, there we go. Windows 95. I thought it was Windows 98. Didn't I pick Windows 98? I thought I could have sworn I picked Windows 98. Okay. Windows 98, there we go. There you go, Windows 98. Now what the old method is like, I'm just going to copy. If I go to CDR Windows 98. Right, 74, 1 megabyte. Okay, so they didn't use the extended compression tools for that. So what we do now is we go make directory cab. This is what we used to use in colleges and stuff. Right, go cabs. This means that there's a working DOS key. Alright, and we go. There you go, cabs. And you can actually go back to the key. Right, okay, so what we're doing now is we go X copy. I think X copy was in this version. Yes, it is. Right, so we go X copy. What it basically X copy does is it copies it all into the memory, and then out from the cache, then copies the files. So we go Windows 98. Prompts, copies, directory, subjects, accept empty ones. SS, yeah. Where's the where's the mouse gone? Oh, there it is. Where's the mouse? Oh, there it is. Strange. Copy from d:// Windows 98 / dot copies directories if empty, even if empty, S. Right, now what it's doing is it's copying, but it sort of speeds it up. I think there was an Xcopy 32 as well, a 32-bit one, because I think this one's just a 16-bit version of the copy function. It's taking its time, isn't it? See what I mean? It's only because it's a slow machine as well. So I'm going to cheat. I'm just going to check the machine. Found 12 megabytes. Pentium 2 333. See what I mean? I need to. It's going to reboot. Because I'm not, even though I'm not. Yeah, there you go. I need to check why that BIOS is. Right, what we've got here. Not installed. Okay. Present. Cacheable. Integrity, CDROM. Enable convert to configure a universal serial. Oh, right, okay. Keep that on. Plug and play awareness, basically. VGA Snoop. Sometimes that helps the performance, but it's not always a viable thing. I don't know why. Why is it not giving me the full speed, performance speed? Okay. Is it something to do with the BIOS? Let's just have a look at the BIOS again. Fast. Yeah, we're in fast, but we're not getting 333 megahertz. 128 to it. Let's go to. Let's go with motherboard. Gateway. Sensitive 333 overdrive. Let's try that one. Right, that's better. I think this was an motherboard I was using last time. Some BIOSes can be a bit funny. I'm not going to. One of the old things they used to do was switch that off because it used to pause on all errors, and you don't want that. This is the standard routine I used to go through when I was setting up machines. Takes me back, all this. Video RAM cacheable. It sort of helped that sometimes, but it depended what you were using it for. Pan standby mode, hard disk power down. Nope. Not always good with that. Some of them power management things were not very helpful to your machine. Excuse me. Let's see how this goes. Yeah, some BIOSes didn't identify the speed of the system. You know, they didn't calculate the the core speed of the CPU. Now, give it 512 meg. It should be a little bit faster now. You can tell it's a little bit faster. Just the way it loads. It's just allocating the memory now for the expanded memory. Kids don't know how easy it is now installing Windows on a machine, Windows 11 and Windows 10. They just pop in the CD-ROM pen drive and think it's gone. It's installing. We got to do all this messing around. No wonder most of us had bloody glasses and beards, because you take that long, you need a shave after it, waiting for it. Right. Right, okay, so obviously we got the cab still. X copy 32. I think there was 32 was still on this version. No, it wasn't. That it was. Oh, right, okay. Actually, I'm just going to auto execute that. Whoops. .bat. And do we have a mouse? Yes, we do. It's a bit randy though. Right, so after DOS, because obviously they're in there, it's gone to the temporary folder. So, yeah. Alright, okay. I'm just going to install that. I always use that function, DOS key. It's quite a useful feature, but I'll just install it anyway. But it'll install when it runs the system. Right, okay, so now I'm waffling too much. We need to go into cabs again. X copy still. And I'm hoping this time backslash win98 backslash the dot, because you don't need to I can just do it there, that'll do. Yeah, oh. It should be a little bit faster actually, because it's not doing any checks. Hey, bagel. You know, the old days, it depended on the speed of your CD-ROM drive. Because originally, not Windows 98, but Windows 95 came originally on floppy disk. I think there was 27 of them. Or 28 or something, 29. And if one disk was damaged, you're screwed. It was a nightmare. So Microsoft decided to put it all on CD-ROM. or across the network. You can install it across the network. Kids of today don't know what they're missing. It's only two. They must be. Yeah, it must be using 2 mega files because each file is 1 meg, I think. Oh look, 1.862 megs, 2 megs each. I'm assuming. Maybe. I think they were 1 megs actually, but some of these cab files, some of these cabinet files, held certain things like backup files. You know when you done a scan disk and your machine would recover. They had a sort of a cache folder, which these were in. These driver 12s would be scanned for drivers which are actually pre-installed on Windows, and would be installed uncompressed into the inf folder. I don't know what CHL99 is. Delete temps, so obviously it uses what upon setup. But I'm assuming these are vendor drivers. I need a coffee. Oh, you know what? I've not even had a coffee yet. What time is it? 1 o'clock? I've been at this for about just over an hour. And you're along for the ride, aren't you, lucky? I don't mind, but I don't think I'll cut it actually, because a lot of people do like to see it uncut, how much we had to put up with. Nowadays, you can just download it off the internet, click install, and it's done. You know, and obviously the Windows operating system, it's small compared to even games now. Games, you know, some games are like 300 megabytes, 250 gigabytes. Flipping heck. I think it's like, what was it called? Call of Duty. It was like nearly a terabyte to install. Unbelievable. Not with this old tech. Nah. It would look at it and go, not running that. It'd be like, oh, let's see, it must be allocated 1 meg to do the backup, so it reads into the memory and then it read and source file. I don't know whether or not it uses the full 512. See, what it is it's got 512 megabytes. The threshold's 4 gigabytes, because I think this is part of obviously it's the 16-bit operating system, isn't it? Because if you look at them, some of the top ones, they're reading 4 files into the memory. So I'm assuming these are all 1 meg files. And the basics, catalog, and all them, these 4 files up the top are within a certain memory size. DOS setup.binary. I don't know what's in that. Yeah, because if you look, each one of these files after it is probably 1 meg. I think what it does is Xcopy copies right into the memory, tests it, and then ports it out. Because I think the one that they use for running the setups, which copies the files, is a pre-built program that actually reads a chunk into the memory and then writes it straight like it does here. But I think it's a 32-bit. Transfer process. Maybe, I might be wrong. Because Windows NT, I think was 32-bit, wasn't it? The new technology filing system, which obviously went integrated into all versions of Windows. That's why you get the file allocation for NTFS, new technology filing system. because they had away with the 8 characters, you know, with the extension being .cab being .exe whatever, because it was allocated a certain size memory. Extract format. Alright, okay. I'm just waffling while I'm waiting, guys, by the way. If you're wondering why I'm talking, it's because I'm trying to keep the video exciting. Because I will chat some weird stuff. I've been watching the elections, you know, Biden versus Trump, and I don't know what's going on there, because CNN seem to be controlling the ropes with it all. Every time Biden talked, they gave him 3 minutes or 4 minutes or 7 minutes. Every time Trump's talked, they only give him, say, a minute. And he'd have to raise his voice because they're blocking him off from talking, which is a bit unfair, really. If it's supposed to be a battle between two presidents, why are they doing that? Everyone's entitled to freedom of speech, isn't it? Even if you know, a lot of people hate Trump. I don't hate him. I don't. You know, the thing with politics, it's all theatre, because it doesn't affect your life as such. You know, it's just some rich guy in a tie saying, "Ah, we're going to do this for you and we're going to do that for you," and they never do. They never do. They don't care. They're not bothered about us. We're the nobodies to them. Especially what they've done to Trump. You know, they've said he's had, you know, they've put him through all sorts of court problems, and it's all to do with the run up to the elections, because they want to like destroy his reputation, and it ain't working. I'm not saying I like him, but because I think the whole thing's just a farce and a setup. You know, they had these elections, and they had Trump and Biden in it, run by CNN, and they wouldn't allow any other people to go in, like RFK or any of the other runners up. It's just them two. And the amount of you could tell, you don't get me wrong, you could tell Biden was reading off a script. Absolutely. Someone was pulling his strings. I don't mind, but if you know about stuff like I don't know about drugs, but there's certain things that I've been researched and stuff, and you could tell he was on something. Biden, and there's so many rumours. Let's just have a look at what happens anyway. You know, who's going to replace him, because that's what's going to happen, isn't it? But you know, it's funny, ironic, really, because you're getting these elections there, but yet, ironically, all around the world, like where I come from in the UK, they've got the same things. They've got Rishi Sunak, which his wife is a multi-billionaire, and he's sort of crying poverty. Unbelievable. You know, it's ironic, really. They got money for wars, but they have never got money for the homeless. I just lost for words, to be honest. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know who's gonna. I got this feeling one of them's gonna get bumped off, whether it be Trump or whether it be Biden. Um, the whole thing stinks of corruption. The all the governments are corrupt anyway. We know that. Yeah, and it's actually got worse and worse over the last 4 years. But it's always been bad anyway. No matter what country you live in, the people are the ones worse off because these governments, they just look at you. The people that run the countries, they're not they're not the presidents, they're not the MPs, they're the people behind funding it all, the corporations mainly. The people with the proper clout, the proper money, they're the ones that are running it. Because you look at it, everything's sponsored by this, that, and the other. And if you step out of line, you lose your channel. You lose this, you lose that, and it's a bit frustrating, really. As if we're not getting scammed enough as it is. Anyway, I'm going to stop moaning about that. It's because of the fact that I'm setting up these files and it takes an age. I think it goes up to 72, doesn't it? I'm going to be here for flipping ever. Yeah, this emulator, I've been playing with it now. I've installed a couple of programs with it. It's supposed to emulate hardware as well as software. Anyone in the comments, just say to me whether or not you think it's any good and give me the best setup routines, which is the best for this 86 box. I think it's quite good actually, but there's a lot of messing around with it. It actually was invented by a woman, wasn't it? She was a software developer working for some other company, and she decided to create this, and it simulates hardware as well as software, which is quite good. It gives you chipsets. You have to literally set it up as if you're setting up a proper machine. I was quite impressed with it actually. I thought that's really good. That I suffer from edema, right? Which is like I get blisters on my legs, and I'm sure my wife put a plaster on my leg at one point. It's disappeared. It just swells up so much. Sometimes it's because I live in a hot country. You drink a lot of water, but I think it goes from me mouth to my legs. The old analogy of you drink something and it goes up through the body and comes out through the legs. That's what it's doing to me. Because my legs swell up. I'm gonna get. What time is it? 1:30. My wife's still asleep. Don't know, we might be going out later. Like I say, it's my birthday tomorrow. 53 years old. I wish I could go back in time. No, go back in age, not forward in age. I look in the mirror and I just go more and more grey. And I don't know what it is, but I had a shave this morning. I don't mind, but I had a shave the other morning. I'm thinking to myself, every other day I'm having a flipping shave. I never used to be like that. Oh God, I'd love to be 16 again. Those were the days. I spent more time dating and getting drunk. And I wasn't really a drinker, really, to be honest. I just mainly stuck my head in computers, and that was it. Then I was all right, me. It's ironic. The truth of the matter is, when I first got into computers, the 8-bit era basically, I started off with the old stuff like the Spectrums and the Commodore 64s and all that kind of stuff. And I would literally come home, no word of a lie, I'd come home at like 2 o'clock in the morning, absolutely drunk. I'd had a couple of drinks. My mate dropped me off, Johnny dropped me off at home, and I went upstairs, switched the computer on, and I'd code drunk for about 3 hours. Just writing code, and I came out with some pretty good stuff back then. Even whether or not I could understand machine code and I could understand the basic interpreter and stuff like that. I wrote some good graphic programs back then and some games and stuff. But it's amazing what you can do when you don't even know what planet you're on, drunk. And we used to had some really good times, me and my mates. I remember the very first time I got a PC, right? I got a PC off my father, my biological father, and it was an IBM AT, a proper IBM AT, you know, a 286 ones, if you know about computer technology that way. And literally, I said, "Oh, I've been given this as a birthday present." So I took it. This thing weighed half a ton, right? Put it on the table at my mother's, and my stepfather watched it while it powered it up and went straight to the electric meter to see how much power it was drawing. And like I say, it doesn't even use that much electric. I think it was about not even 200 watts or something. So funny now, those days. I having to cart that upstairs. Honestly, you need about 4 people to carry it. I've actually got a computer my father gave me, which was a 486. I think it's an i7. I think it's only an early generation, like a four or third generation i7. He'd spent quite a bit on it. He said he didn't want it, so he gave it me. So I ended up with this bloody PC, right? And I was at home, and I ended up with one of those, you know, cooler. Is it cooler or fractal design? Corsair. I think it was a fractal design case, right? And this thing, you put it in the boot of a car, and the back wheels would go down. It was that heavy. But it's in the UK. I couldn't take it with me when I moved to the Philippines. But it had like 32 gig of RAM. It had, I think I had about 6 terabytes on it. Bearing in mind this is like 5-6 years ago. And it's still at my mother's as far as I know. I'm hoping she's not put it in the loft. It's probably in the box room actually, because it's that heavy. There's no chance you'll get it in the loft. But me and my mate took it. James, my mate, said, "Yeah, I'll take it upstairs for you, because my mum's stairway is narrow." How the hell I got that IBM PC upstairs is beyond me. But I used that kit eventually. Roy, my father, gave me another couple of motherboards, and I went from 286s to a different 286 motherboards. I had a couple of IBMs motherboards. I'll tell you a bit more story about that later. But the motherboard, I actually got given a couple of these 386 motherboards, so I ended up dropping them in the 80 case. It literally was like a calculator motherboard in a box. That's how small this motherboard was compared to an 80 box. You could use the power supply off it. The power supply was the same. And I installed this 386 motherboard, and it was just funny to turn it on, and it'd be like a different BIOS. Talking about someone like me that really at that time I was only learning technology, you know. But you know, it's ironic really that a couple of years, about maybe 20 years later, I started selling on eBay. And I was shipping out all it, so I was just offloading. So it's either that or they'd end up in the bin, but they were still working, so they would be useful to someone else. So I stuck them on eBay, and I sold quite a few motherboards on eBay, including the IBM motherboard. This IBM motherboard, I thought to myself, tested not working type of thing. The guy actually pinged me, bearing in mind this thing was in the cupboard for like nearly 30 years. Powered on perfect first time, so I'm quite chuffed with that. But yeah, the 386 motherboard I had, which was only this little thing, a woman contacted me and said that the acid had leaked, so I had to do a bit of a refund on it. I was a bit gutted, unless she was trying it on, I don't know. I had no way of testing it, but it wasn't anything to me. But I was selling. I saw graphics cards, motherboards, video games, Xbox games, PS2 games. Um, but I made the most money, believe it or not, out of computer games and out of the motherboards. I had, what is it, 40 or 50? 40 CD-ROM drives. 40 CD-ROM drive. You know those Optiplexes, the Dell ones? I got given a load of them at one point. I only lived in a small flat. And how the heck I got all them I had quite a few. I had about 20 of them. I had, in total, I started collecting, buying laptops, PC laptops. I had a couple of Apples, but mainly PC laptops. And I'd get them from this seller. And I literally had, I don't know, 50, 60 of these laptops. And I'd repair them. Some of them were duds, some of them I'd give up on. But a lot of them I actually got working and sold them on. Just purposed them with hard disks and installed Windows on them and stuff like that, and sold them on. I think I sold a lot of stuff on the on eBay, and I sold a couple of bits and pieces on what was it called? There was one I used to use over in the UK, which was like where they'd come round to your house and give you money for it. I forgot what it was called now. It escapes me. But yeah, most of the motherboards and most of the computers I sold on eBay, and I got quite a bit of money for them. I tell you what I did sell, and I don't know whether or not he ever listens to this video, but there was a guy who actually bought. I was selling a couple of Commodore Amigas, and it was either 2500 or 1500, 1600, 1200 Amigas, and I think they were. I can't remember whether or not one was a special edition one, but he bought him off me, and I didn't believe his name was James Bond. I thought, do you get any hassle for that? Because he got a name like that. I said, no, not really. But he turned up with his girlfriend. He was driving the Manta, and he said, yeah, I buy. What he does is purpose them, takes the motherboards out, puts them in PCs, does some trickery with them, and sells them to people abroad, to America. And he apparently earns quite a bit of money out of that. Just shows you, doesn't it? See how I'm waffling. Look at that, 52%, 52 files. So we've got another 20 left. It's like an eternity, this. I'm going to run out of things to say. Yeah, I live in the Philippines. I moved over here in the Philippines in 2017 after getting married. My wife, you always think, no, she's about the same age as me. She's very much like me, my wife. You definitely found the right girl for me. And she's got better English than I have. They always say, oh, the Filipinos can't speak English. Bull. They've got really good English. They've got better English than us. She can argue to me, but she can beat me. But if she argues at me, and then she starts calling me names, she calls at me in Filipino, Tagalog, so I ain't got a clue what she's saying. But she'll scream and shout at me, but she's alright after that. It was like, it's weird. But yeah, if you ever get a chance to go to the Philippines, go to the Philippines. The country is absolutely beautiful. Forget what they say on the news, and the news lies to you. They've always lied. And some of these YouTubers, they don't know what they're talking about, because they'll make a comment But 9 times out of 10, the ones that are making the comments have never been to the Philippines. So what gives them the right to say that? You know what I mean? If you've been, it's not like Thailand. It's not like Malaysia. It's not like any of the other countries, Asian countries. The Philippines, the people are really nice. It takes a bit of a learning with the food and the culture, but when they cook your food, they respect you as if you're a family member. But they are a very very religious country, very religious cultures. It's split up to three sections. You got Luzon, which I live in, and then you got Visaya, which is a Mindanao. So, but usually you would either fly in. The main ones I know is you'd fly in to Manila, which is the capital of the Philippines. It used to be originally Cebu, but they nominated Manila to be the number one hotspot for the Philippines. And you'd go in. The airport's quite a good airport. It's very heavy security and stuff. There is a lot of rumours about um, pickpockets and touts and all that kind of stuff, but I've never come across any. I'm not saying it ain't the first time, but you do get that, but you get that anywhere. You go to countries like Pakistan and all that. You're taking a risk there. But yeah, mostly where I live, it's mainly religious as Christianity. But I think it's Mindanao. Mindanao is more of the Muslim area because you got a lot of ethnicity in the Philippines. There's a lot of you get their main people that they respect over here is the Koreans. They absolutely adore the Koreans, the television, the food, this, that, and the other. And a lot of the people, it's mad really because my wife is an English teacher, and like I say, she's got really good English. But when I first met her, when I first started talking to her, I thought she sounded more like an American accent because at one particular time, the Americans dominated the Philippines. So obviously, you have certain things going on. There was a lot of bases over a lot of American bases. So and a lot of the culture from America, a lot of you go down, say you go to Manila, you go to Edson, you go to all these other areas in the Philippines, and they're very very Americanized. You got the billboards, you've got the food, even though a lot of the food on the streets, the street food, are vendors, little vendors selling bread like pandesal, which is like a kind of a little bread bun, very very well known for breakfast bread over here. I absolutely love pandesal. Pandesal it's just a little bun, and sometimes inside the bun there can be a sweet something in it, or a sugary something, or a sour something like cheese. But yeah, it's a lovely country. The food, like say, the food over here, you can't go wrong with it. It's really nice. You take the risk with the like say with the vendors because you don't. It's like India that way. If your stomach's not used to the food, you're on the toilet for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 days. You know what I mean? You end up in hospital with um, Gandhi's revenge, as they say. Yeah, we're nearly finished actually. We're getting there. But I'm going to be calling it a day because I want to test this video out. But in the next video, because it's going to be a two-parter, and obviously this is a long video, this will be a massive video. In the next video, we'll be installing, because I need to remember a key or get a key for this, because the Windows 98 requires a key. And then in the next video, I think we're going to have a go at installing the old Fable 2000 and also NT5, because that's how I first started off. When I first started programming coding for companies, corporations, the disk management and the way you'd set up the networking and stuff was, I originally started with NT 3.01, 3.51 is it? It's that far back now. 3.51 and 4.01 and 5.01. Good God, I'm going back. 90s, early 90s. Yeah, about 89, 88. No, 98, sorry, 99. Excuse me. And I'm getting ready to, because I need to go to the laboratory. Nature calls, because of my age. I need to go and piddle. I've heard some walking about, so I think my wife's getting up. It's like 1:30 in the afternoon. Mind you, it's Sunday. She better let me have a lie. I don't really have a lie-in. Yeah, I could just hear the dog go, so I've got a feeling she's going to walk downstairs in a minute. Because she usually goes, she gets dressed and she'll go in her office. Because she's got to get us ready for tomorrow, for her classes. She has classes in the early hours. Poor girl. Yeah, right, Chick. I'm still recording, but I'm putting my mouth over the mic. I've been doing this for about an hour and a half. I've not even eaten yet. But I need something to eat shortly. I'm sweating like a pig. Mind you, pigs don't sweat, do they? They don't have sweat glands. You know, it's true that. If you ever heard about the situation that pigs, they say that, you know, the old saying was, I'm sweating like a pig. Pigs don't have sweat glands. So how can you sweat like a pig? But the other thing they're reckoning with Bruce Lee, you remember the martial arts Bruce Lee, that he died because what he doing was he didn't want to sweat, so the hospitals removed his sweat glands. Whether that's true or not, I don't know, but that they reckon he overheated. So I don't know. Is it 70? I don't know whether it's due to finish this. It's taking forever, isn't it? 93. Oh, good God, how many is there? Yeah, I'm going to be calling it a day after this, guys, because we've been doing this for a month. Obviously, I'm exaggerating, but it's such a long process. But this is what us engineers used to have to do. Usually a lot of them will just go off and have lunch, come back and it's still doing it. Used to leave it overnight, especially if you were setting up if you were setting up novel netware and all that kind of stuff. When I used to work in the technical support teams, it literally took a week to set up the network, the systems, oh, here we go. I don't know what OL is. Online. 98 online. Unless it's I don't know. Anyway, yeah, it used to take about a week to set up novel netware in the colleges. Because what I used to do is I used to work in the colleges with, there you go. Fantastic. Right, okay. 101 files. Now how much is that? 127 megabytes. There's our hard disk on. Obviously I'm not going to run this just yet. I'm going to run it in the next video because I've had enough. but it gives you an idea of how we used to do it. Now in the next video I'm going to reinstall Windows 98. I think it's second edition. Yeah, I think it is second edition. So what we're going to do is we're going to run that, and I'm going to catch you later because one, I need to have some lunch and go and spend some time with my wife, so I can peck her head.